Residents in the north of Johannesburg suburban area of Midrand are frustrated by ongoing water outages caused by Rand water maintenance. Now, the utility says the area is still worst affected even after water was restored. Rand Water has completed the first phase of maintenance and will begin what is its second phase in all of this today. Water management expert Professor Anja du Plessis joining us now for a little bit more here. Professor, appreciate the time. Thank you so much. Good morning to you. A happy festive season all around. What do you see as these pretty much the main drivers here of what feels like a crisis of sorts? Is this a technical failure? Is this infrastructure decay? Or is it just a gap in government here? Good morning.
A very good morning to you and the viewers. Unfortunately, what we are seeing is that we know that we need the maintenance being done. That is not even a question to be asked. But what we are seeing is the system struggling to regain pressure, and Joburg Water is indicating that unfortunately due to high water demands, the system is taking a bit longer. Now, I do know that the people affected by Midrand, that's primarily due to maintenance being done by Rand Water, affecting the Palmmead pump station. So unfortunately, what is going to happen is that the Midrand area is going to continue to struggle to regain pressure if we do not decrease water demand. Now, people will say that, well, my taps are dry, how can I decrease water demand? What I have heard and seen is that, unfortunately, due to people trying to get a buffer for their own water use by installing water tankers, JoJo tanks, like 5,000 liters, a couple of them on their properties. What is happening is that due to those tanks being connected to the municipal water supply, the system is struggling to gain pressure due to it having to fill those tanks first before it gets to other areas downstream.
So actually, people who are making alternative ways of getting water when they don't have water are now at fault for the water not being there for residents. I mean, that's basically it, right?
Well, that's unfortunately the reasons that are given. And I do understand why they are saying that what we would like in an ideal world is the infrastructure having to be in a certain standard so that there is a buffer at the end of the day, and that we know that our infrastructure in Joburg is of such a quality that it would be restored and that people wouldn't have had to try and install buffers, especially in areas that are consistently being affected, like Melville, Kensington. And as you said, that phase 2 is coming. It's starting this evening, and it's going to affect Soweto and Lens. Well, that is from the perspective from Joburg Water, saying that it's only going to affect those two areas. So I hope they're right, and that the whole Equinor system isn't going to be in shatters like the Midrand is currently experiencing.
Yeah, that becomes a big fear from here on as well. I mean, is this not the same thing as the electricity crisis we had pretty recently, where people were making alternative measures? So they were getting solar panels, they were getting inverters, for example, as well, in order to make their own way here. And then government was trying to find ways to deter people from getting that by saying to them, well, that means we're going to have to increase the price of electricity because distribution is still going to cost us. All the work and the labor still cost us a lot more now, especially because of the solar panels too. So is this a case of trying to deter people from trying to find alternative ways of getting water?
Well, I hope not. But as you say, it seems like it is going that same route where people are now going to say, well, the government is saying that, listen, you have so many tankers on your property, you are the problem now. In an ideal world, what we would like to see is that these water tankers on people's property are purely focused on rainwater harvesting so that the municipal supply isn't being affected and that we don't have this knock-on effect. But we can't really penalize people for trying to ensure that they do have water, because we have been suffering and being affected by all of these water outages since 2022. And this isn't a new thing. And unfortunately, what is going to happen is we are going to see more of these situations, especially as Joburg Water is now embarking on their maintenance and refurbishment of our water reservoirs, what we really do need. So there has to be a balance. I think the community has to come from their side as well. Let's say during these maintenance periods that they do not connect the water tankers to municipal supply. But then once again, those are going to tell you, but listen, I've invested so many thousands of rand into trying to create my own buffer because the city of Joburg has let me down.
So then that brings to question the entire infrastructure of the city itself. Are we at a point now where we're questioning the infrastructure, much like we did with our power crisis, where we're saying it's old, hasn't been fixed in time, we need maintenance, it's happening so often that it's creating and causing some of these issues where we don't have water?
For sure. And I think that with our water supply, and especially our water infrastructure, I mean, you can see it across Johannesburg, holes all over the place, water meters leaking, pipe bursts consistently, and that's more in your face. So I think it isn't a secret for everyone within the city of Johannesburg that we are in a crisis moment, actually. But at least, and I'm going to say this again, at least Joburg Water has a plan, and I really do hope that the city of Joburg is going to support them in this endeavor to do maintenance. And for them to do maintenance, they need to pay contractors on time. And as I've seen over the past couple of months, that has been a continued issue. So I'm saying again, the city of Johannesburg needs to come to the party, but also Joburg Water needs to continue with their communication. But what I have seen from numerous communities across the city, especially with this maintenance, is to say they have been let down because they have not been told in good time that this is going to be the issue. And if you are in Midrand, you have been sitting without water since 13 December. And as I said, the Eikenhof system is going to be without pumping for 54 hours. They're saying it's only going to affect Lens and Soweto. So I do hope that the people in Lens and Soweto, and hopefully other areas that are affected as well, have been informed properly by Joburg Water so they do not sit high and dry. But what I have seen this morning from the communication from Joburg Water is that the Midrand system seems to be recovering now, and I sincerely do hope that most of Midrand is going to have wet taps within the next couple of days.
Yeah. Can they improve the communication though overall? Because that's now the problem. That's one. The other thing is, two, do you have a figure of how much it costs actually to create this kind of maintenance for a particular system?
Well, if I don't actually know what it would cost for the whole of Joburg Water to refurbish most of their reservoirs. What we do know is that 42 of them were leaking. I know that they are currently busy with Hurstil 2. And I think that's where we need clarity as well, is that what is the investment being made into their assets? Is it enough? Are they being given enough money by the city to do this work? Are they going to get assurances that the contractors are going to get paid in time? What we have seen with the Brixton Tower, etc., that the contractors have done tools a couple of times saying that they are not getting paid. So in terms of that, that's an issue that we have to look at, and I do know that it's billions and billions of rand. Then, in terms of the communication, what they can do better, I mean, we need people on the ground to speak to communities. I do know that they have a WhatsApp channel. They are also posting on their social media, trying to get people more aware of the maintenance. I do not know exactly when they started with the communication. I think it was a week or two before that. I do know that Rand Water has to inform their customer, in this being Joburg Water, that they are doing maintenance 21 days before it even starts. So
Sure.
I
Okay.
would think that Joburg Water should actually have started at the 21-day mark to inform people that, listen, this is what is going to be waiting for you.
Yeah. All right, just as a final question, thoughts on diversification of these water resources, things like reuse, groundwater, alternative supply. Is any of that actually realistic? Or should the focus actually remain on just fixing the existing system?
The diversification of water sources is, I mean, it has to be a given. If we look at the Western Cape province at this point in time, they are looking at water restrictions due to the dam levels not being where it needs to be. So they are looking at the diversification of their water resources in that sense. But in Gauteng, we definitely have to look at that. We've got rainwater harvesting that is definitely a given that we should be implementing. The reuse of wastewater, I think that is also an issue where we can explore, and that has to be a given as well. I mean, sewage is unlimited, so I know that they are looking at that as well. But for us to look at the diversification, we need to do the basics right first. And the basics is to manage the system in such a way that people do have water even when we are doing maintenance, so that it doesn't take more than 7 days for the system to recover. And the only way that that's going to happen is if Joburg Water does the maintenance that we need and also responds to water leaks and pipe bursts within the given 24 to 48 hours. And it has to be done properly so that things aren't bursting at the seams every now and again in the city.
Professor Anja du Plessis, thank you so much for the time.